Welcome to Deal Shredders. We are your hosts, David and Greg.
We are local Nashville investors, cash buyers, and real estate agents who love to analyze your deals.
Mike Brady, how are you today, buddy?
Doing great.
Good. We are here, episode 12, with Mr. Mike Brady, who I've known in the Ren Group for quite some time now, who is a partner in Toro Title, which is a very, very, very investor-friendly title company with Matt Anderson. And also a partner in Property Recycle, which you guys I know are, hard money lending for pretty much focusing on a lot of rehabs and stuff like that.
Generally a non-bank lender, our primary loan product.
Non-bank lender. Yep. Awesome.
Kind of the fix and flip type loan that everybody knows so well. Most people call it hard money.
Yeah. Awesome. I know you've got a lot in the Nashville market. I didn't know you were in Virginia Beach, a little bit of Birmingham, Montgomery. So
my family owns Homevestors franchises. You may be familiar like billboards or TV ads that have a caveman on them, say we buy ugly houses. And so our markets are here: Birmingham, Alabama, Montgomery, Alabama, and Virginia Beach, Virginia, Norfolk, Virginia.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Cool. So Mike, talk to us. What do you think we're going to be what are we going to talk about today? I mean, I know that you're an expert in hard money lending, but you have an expertise in a lot of things. You've been doing investing for a long time.
What is on your mind, especially right now with what's going on, for sure?
Yeah, so I'll touch real quick on where we're at with our lending right now. Things have certainly tightened up, and if you are just dying to acquire real estate right now, you need to get something rolling, and you need to borrow money from a hard money lender. We're looking at lower LTVs, so we're coming in at a max of 65% of the subject to or the ARV. We're still lending 100% as long as your deal is under that 65%. Above that, obviously you're going to bring some more money to the table, but we do have that 100% option on your acquisition and rehab at this time. We haven't changed our rates or anything like that. All that's staying the same. Term is still 6 to 9 months. So a lot of that stuff stayed the same. We're just lowering our leverages a little bit for right now. Not real sure when that's going to come back up to 70%, but my gut says sometime late third quarter.
And what was that now for everyone? What does that compare to what it was 6 months ago?
6 months ago, we were at 70% max LTV. So we've just dropped our max loan by 5% of the ARV.
So business is pretty usual for you.
Pretty usual.
A lot of people are saying that people are not lending for hard money loans right now, but you are one of that is still actively lending.
So a little history about the way hard money lenders work. There's two types of lenders. You've got private equity and you've got securitized equity. Securitized are groups like Lima One Capital, Finance of America, RCN. Those are big nationwide companies backed by hedge funds. They originate loans and lend money to people, and then they package those up as a security and sell them on Wall Street. So they have a finite amount of capital. Yeah, just like mortgages. So there's since 2011, there's been a really big secondary market for non-bank, investor loans. They're considered very secure. You get higher yields than you do on mortgages, and so Wall Street's had a good appetite for them. Right now, the credit markets are so shot that nobody's buying paper, and so those lenders are effectively out of business right now. They're not lending.
Right.
Turn to groups like us that are private equity based. The money comes out of private equity funds. I own a fund called High Gravity Investments. We lend out of it. And then I have partnerships with other private equity funds around the country that have an appetite for these type of loans as well. And so regardless of whether or not you come to Property Recycling for a loan, your servicing check may go to one or two different funds scattered across the country, depending on who's got money going out right now. And so that relationship is all serviced in-house on their property. So the big securitized lenders, you're not writing a check to that lender. You're writing a check to some big hedge fund somewhere that bought the paper. So with private equity, you generally have a little bit better customer service, a little more flexibility. If you get in a bind on a project, you know who to call and how you can get help, get you out of a sticky situation. So one of the reasons a lot of people prefer to use us over the big hedge funds. We also close quicker.
Are you taking on new borrowers right now?
We are. We can onboard nearly unlimited number of borrowers right now based on the sources of capital that I have. We are scrutinizing a lack of experience a little bit. So if it's your first time flip, honestly, I just want to have a conversation with you first and ask you why you're choosing such a volatile market to do your first flip. Like, we don't know what ARVs are going to be. We don't know anything when we get out of this.
It's very arbitrary right now. That's what I keep saying.
Very arbitrary. And experienced guys like us, I mean, I've got 6 rehabs going right now. We have no idea what they're going to sell for. We feel comfortable, confident that we're still going to get our numbers or something close to it, but we honestly don't know. It depends on.
It hits the market, you decide.
Yeah, exactly. So a new borrower, someone who has 0 experience, we're going to have a long conversation before we issue you a loan. And the most important thing is because I want you to be successful. I don't want to lend you money just because you're a number to me and you come back and you lost money on that deal because something went awry, you ran out of capital, whatever it is, and all of a sudden you hate Mike Brady because he enabled you to do this deal. I want to be close with my borrowers and keep them as customers for a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I've learned with the deals I've done over the last few years, Mike, that lenders can be your first line of defense for keeping you out of a bad deal, making bad decisions, because like they don't want the property. They don't want anything to do with taking back the property. They just want to make their yield on the money. And that's all they want to do. It's way easier for them. So if the deal looks thin, or if they don't believe that you can pull it off, or you don't have the team of resources, them saying no is sometimes a great thing, because it's like, it can be a reality check to be like, do I really have the team and resources in place to be able to make this happen?
Yeah, especially multifamily deals, your lender has a lot to do with if that is a realistic property or not.
Yeah, creditable property.
Realistic deal.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay,
So
well, cool. I know that today, Mike, specifically you called me and you wanted to, talk about something that's going on in Davidson County. We know that Mayor Cooper is wanting to raise property taxes because of COVID-19 and the tornado. And long story short, Metro Davidson, they're in massive amounts of debt. And what a great place to start would be property taxes. And Mike wanted to kind of take a property and explain what does property taxes really mean. I'm going to share my screen. I hope you can see it, but if not, just kind of follow along. And
so we did some real quick research leading up to this. I decided to talk about this a little bit based on the conversation you guys had with Grant Hammond on Wednesday, that a property tax hike is coming. We learned that in 2017, it was a 37% increase in assessment. And, we should expect something very close to that here in 2020 or 2021. 2021 is actually 4 years out. I'm getting conflicting information as to whether or not there will be a reassessment this year or next. But it's something to think about, especially when we're not in such a hot market that we were in 2017. It could still be a very strong market, but not necessarily just red hot on fire like 2017 was. So I threw together this quick spreadsheet here. And anybody who's listening, if you've got a property that you want to run through this scenario, I think we should find that the end result is going to be about the same, but I'm happy to plug in what your tax value is and what your annual taxes are. So just throw something in the comments. So, but this property here is assessed at $175,100. The annual property taxes on that are $1,381.10. As you can see, if we have a 40% increase in the tax basis for that property, or the appraised value, the property taxes are going to increase from $1,381.10 up to that $1,933.54. All right, so that's a $46 a month increase. So my argument has always been, retail values of real estate is based on what the buyer can pay per month, right? They could care less what their purchase price is. All they care about is that check that they write every month and how that fits into their budget, right? So
Always.
we have to price our property based off of two variables, interest rates, right? Taxes. So three variables, taxes and insurance. So those three are fixed variables. We can't change those. The only thing that can change is the price of the real estate in order to meet that monthly budget for that buyer. So all things being equal, a buyer can afford X amount of dollars per month. They're going to have to look for a house in that price range that meets their requirements. Say it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, whatever it is. So in this example that I've got here, we've increased the monthly tax bill on a 40% increase in the appraised value. That the tax bill goes up $46.04 per month, right? If you've got a 4.5% interest rate, monthly mortgage payment on this, assuming 100% financing, 30-year amortization schedule, you've got a $887.21 mortgage payment. If you back out that $46 in increased taxes, which is a fixed variable, which is kind of an oxymoron, I realize. So the new mortgage payment now becomes $841.17. That's a 5.19% reduction in what the mortgage payment can be, which equates out in quick math to a new ARV on that house of $166,000 as opposed to $175,000. So is this a guaranteed thing? Is this really in real life what happens? No, probably not. But as we enter into a season where taxes are going to be going up on real estate, which we need. I mean, we desperately need a higher tax basis here in Nashville. I came here from Texas, and property taxes are literally 3 times what they are here.
I'm from Texas too. It's the same thing.
Like my $350,000 house in Texas had a $6,000 a year property tax bill.
Yeah.
Like, we are so far behind other states that don't have state income tax that it's not even funny. And that's why, you know, you look at the city services for Nashville, like to think a neighborhood like East Nashville that's so close to the urban center that still has bar ditches instead of sidewalks and underground stormwater. It's just, we're so far behind other cities in those aspects. Mass transit's another that I could go down a long road on for my opinions.
This
but
isn't all about Metro now.
Right. So have there been any, I haven't checked the comments. Have there been any comments for anybody who wanted to run?
Let me go ahead. I'm gonna go and get off that screen right now.
Okay.
And then I can go ahead and check the comments. It's kind of hard for me without triggering. I don't really not see much of anything.
I'm looking on Facebook. I don't see any comments right now.
Okay.
I mean, so Mike, I'm curious because I'm building my personal house right now. I mean, we could easily do an assessment there if we want to run through the numbers.
What do you think the what do you think the tax assessment on that property would be?
So this is where I'd love some clarification because
do you want to give me the address?
Yeah, so the address is 1001 North 6. I'm building it right now.
Is that 6th Ave?
North 6th Street. It's in Cleveland Park. The property.
Everybody knows your address now, too.
That's cool. Come hang out, guys.
You're like, oh, wait. It's like we kind of do forget that there's other people listening sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, you want to find me, it's not that hard. You search property assessor website.
So the total tax appraisal on that is only $202,000. Obviously, that's going to go up. What do you think it'll be assessed at?
So that's okay. So that was, I tore down the house and I'm rebuilding a house. So this is where it becomes fuzzy, and I'd like to hear your thoughts. Tax appraisal is not always equal to market value, correct?
No, it's not.
Because usually the tax assessment values is lower.
It's not really taking into effect like any type of additional features or anything like that.
Right. So even when you look at a tax card, you've got your appraisal for the land, appraisal for the improvements, for your total tax appraisal. Tax appraisal is absolutely not equivalent to market value, which is a good thing because tax value is almost always lower than market value. Other markets that I've been in, like they redo assessments, or they're allowed to redo assessments annually. And so a sale of a property will trigger a reassessment of that property. So for example, if you've got a tax assessment on a property that at $250,000, but you pay $350 for it, the year after you buy it, they're going to update that assessment to $350 because they're going to match market value. They don't seem to do that here in Nashville. I'm not as well versed maybe as I should be on how exactly that works or how they come up with the assessments, but they certainly don't follow market value.
Right. Well, so I can answer what I think market value for the property will be worth, but the assessed value, that's a whole different ballgame. Like we could look at
my house real quick. Maybe we can get a generalization. All right, so my house, total appraisal on it is $200,000, and we paid $330 for this house. So obviously that's a big disparity.
30% less, maybe.
So, and if they're going to increase assessments by and I don't even get this either. Like, does everywhere in the county, does it all go up 37%? So if my tax assessment is $196,400 and I multiply that by 1.37, my new tax assessment is going to be $269,068. So we're still not even close to market value on that.
Yeah, mine is like my appraised value for my house. I paid $250, and total appraised value is $210.
Right, so it's about
your property
20
square foot,
20% cheaper. Yeah, I don't understand exactly how they come up with the assessed value in comparison to, I mean, because I know market value is not the assessed value. Like, I don't know if there's a.
Hey David, is there a new build maybe close to your house that I could look up and see what the assessment is on that?
Let's do the house across the street. It's let's see, hold on, let me check the address. So the one across the street is 1000 North 6th Street.
1000 North 6th?
Yeah.
Maybe we should pause it.
All right, so that one has a total tax appraisal of $540,000. So I guess with the and what Frankie just said in Facebook, he said it kind of follows. They flag sales and permits. They raise taxes after permits the next year, change of ownership until reassessment. So, but mine, Frankie, didn't go up with a change of ownership. And we just did some light cosmetics, so there was no real no permit pulled on that one. So, but I would agree that at least in the case of this one, we just looked up the 1000 North 6th. It's showing that this one
that was built like 2 or 3 years ago, maybe.
Yeah, so this one was assessed in 2019 according to the tax card, and looks like the taxes went from in 2017 $792, 2018 $1,781, and then 2019 when they reassessed it went to $4,263 a year. So we'll use this one as an example. So assessed value of $540,600, annual property taxes are $4,263.98. With a 40% increase, it's going to bring the taxes up to $5,969. Greg, if you want to pop that spreadsheet back up. So that's an extra expense of $142.13 per month to the homeowner. Monthly mortgage payment at 100% financing was that $2,739. Now it's $2,597, which gives me the exact same decrease in retail value, assuming that borrower can't absorb the increase in taxes. So your property went from $540,000 to $512,000.
Yep.
So again, is this a real world example? No, not really, because at the end of the day, a borrower or a buyer looking at a $500,000 house can probably absorb $142 a month, but do increase taxes put downward pressure on retail sales? Absolutely. And you should use something like this kind of 5% rule to when you're evaluating a deal that you want to buy or build. You should take into account this 5% reduction in retail value when you go to sell this thing, because if you don't, you could get burned. If you do, and you buy it conservatively based on some of these factors that can come into play while you're rehabbing the house, then you're going to be in that conservative position where if it does come to fruition where your ARV is lowered from 540 to 515, let's say, you're already protected. And if it's somewhere in between, you're experiencing additional profit. Those are some of the things that your lenders are going to be thinking about when they're underwriting deals for you. And one of the reasons we bumped down to 65% right now is we don't know what the market's going to do, and we don't want you to be over leveraged on the house if you have to sit on it for a couple extra months because days on market are taking longer, or if you have to lower the purchase price or the sales price in order to get the property sold because of various reasons, unemployment and other recession related items. So this is just one example of some of the underwriting considerations that we take into account as lenders when we see stuff coming down the pipeline.
Cool. Awesome. Well, Mike, how can everyone get a hold of you, bro?
So my office number is 615-806-7500.
Go ahead and fill out the comments for everyone.
Yep. Website is www.propertyrecycle.com. That's for acquisition. If you're looking to refinance a rental, we have a new website. Please go check it out. It is cashoutrefiguys.com.
Tell us a little bit about that.
So we've really recently moved heavily into refinancing for single family and multifamily rentals. Pre-COVID, man, we were doing 30-year fully amortized multifamily loans up to $5 million, 30-year fully amortized fixed at like 6.25. Ridiculous.
What is it now, shall I ask?
Now it's not even available because those are securitized lenders. So we're on hold right now until the credit markets open back up.
Gotcha.
If you're in a bind right now and you got to get out of some short-term money because of maturity, or if you need to access the capital in a property that you paid cash for that you've turned into a rental, we can do some one-year bridge loans for you. They're not cheap. They're not preferable. They are literally stopgaps if you're in trouble on a property and need to get some money out of it. So that is available if you need it. We can do those bridges, but if you can wait, I would encourage you to. We feel confident that by the end of May, the credit markets will have loosened up enough that we can start writing some of these refinance loans again. Yeah. We're expecting amortizations to drop to 20 or 25 instead of 30. Still a fixed rate for at least 10 years and then adjustable rate after that. So I would say post-COVID, end of second quarter, beginning of third quarter, we're probably writing refinance notes, 10-year notes, adjustable after that on 20-year AMs, probably in the low to mid sevens for well-qualified borrowers, obviously. Now, if you got a credit score below 700, they're going to start gigging you.
Yeah.
So, my question, in the midst of all this stuff going on, what strategically are you doing differently in your business outside of, like, I know the lending stuff, but you're also very, very skilled investor. Like, how are you positioning yourself for the next, let's say, 3 to 6 months?
We were right in the middle of our inventory cycle, so we were not in an acquisition point in our business right now. We've got 5 rehabs going. Those should start. One of them's already hit the market. Another one will be up probably 1st of May, and then they should start every couple of weeks going to market. So hopefully by June, we're sold out of inventory. In that point in time, it's going to give us the opportunity to reassess the market and see what we're going to be doing to buy. But, I'm going to be looking to be as conservative as I can. That's for sure. I've had the strategy expecting a recession since 2017. We only work on houses that are going to be at or just above the median home sale price. So I have not sold a house above $350,000 since 2017. We felt that staying below the median home value is going to be a way to make sure that we're getting out of our inventory in a recession. And now that the recession is here, we don't yet know how bad it is, but we do feel pretty comfortable in our inventory and that there will be a buyer for it because we're not at the top of the market.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah, right. You don't want to be in that over 500 price point right now, especially for like, depending on where it is, of course. But
here's the thing: there's an argument that's counter to that, Greg, and that argument is that the people shopping for $500,000 to $800,000 houses are the upper middle class people that didn't lose their jobs.
They are.
Companies are still paying them; they're still working, and so it's the first-time home buyers, the lower middle class, the people making that breach into the middle class. Those are the people being most affected right now, and so there could actually be a disparity between for that first-time home buyer price point, let's say 200 to 350, the stuff that we were planning on having home runs in because we were protecting ourselves from recession. It could be the exact opposite.
Yeah.
Where only the higher end houses move because first-time home buyers can't get a loan.
Well, where are they getting the jumbo loans right now?
I mean, Fannie and Freddie are still lending, so jumbos are coming from them.
Gotcha. Cool. All right, guys. Well, Mike, anybody wants to go find Mike at Deals. Well, I guess we don't have deals right now, but very soon.
Or Deal Makers, yeah. So
Deal Makers, on Facebook.
We will probably bump again in May and then come back with Deal Makers, which is the first Tuesday of the month. We do it at 3:00 in the afternoon. Yeah. We gear it more towards experienced investors, so that's why we do it during the business day. And then Deals is Tyler's. It's later that afternoon at 6. We may be moving Deal Makers to the opposite of Deals in the third Tuesday of the month, but haven't quite done that yet. So
cool. Well, that'd be great. Awesome.
Let's see here. Chad asked, do all non-owner occupied STRPs get taxed at commercial 40% by county? I don't have an answer for that.
That's a grant question, probably.
Yeah, that is a good grant question.
Tag grant and
because, I don't know. I think it's based on the zoning. I think if it's a commercial zoning, maybe, but I think if it's normal residential, I don't know. Because I know you have the hotel tax on there, but that's on your gross revenue, I believe.
Man,
I'd either Grant or Mike Gomez. One of those guys will know the answer.
Those guys, yeah.
Commercial 40% by county. I don't have an answer for that.
Huh.
Cool.
All right, fellas. Well, I've got a roll. It was wonderful, Mike, hanging with you on our 12th episode of Deal Shredders.
Trying to steal my name, huh?
Oh yeah. Deal Shredders, episode 12. Dave Morgan, Mike Brady.
Hey guys, reach out anytime. Thanks again, guys.
You guys.
Thanks, Mike. You have a good day, man.
Bye-bye.